At the KSMO studios, we welcome in Denver Ellis and another paid political ad for Mr. Ellis. And good to have you back in, my friend. Saw you this morning down at the commissioner meeting, so good to see you twice in one day.
Good morning. Ain't that a blessing?
It is a blessing.
We're able to at least sit here and talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, you've been busy, and as we all know, you're running for 2nd District Commissioner. And I know you've been out and about, and how, first off, let's just real quickly talk about how have things gone for you. You seem to have got a lot of people on your side and a lot of support.
Well, Stan, I'm glad you brought that up because before we begin, I'd like to give you like a short synopsis or summary of my experience during this time of campaign.
Okay, sure.
I've never campaigned on a local level before. It's my first experience in doing that. And, I've come to realize that the residents of Denton County are absolutely some of the most incredible, fascinating people once you really start to get to talk to know them. I've been to a lot of different countries. I've traveled to a lot of places. And right here at home, it's been pretty fascinating. They just listen to how they think, the thought process they put behind things. Just listening to the old stories of yesteryear, some of these people there. And it's quite incredible. It was just a great experience on that side. Unfortunately, to every great side, there's kind of been a downside to this campaign season as well. And I'm not going to go into a bunch of negative stuff, but it's just a couple things just to top the charts here. We have our elected leadership that we expect certain things from: professionalism, their guidance in the community, to be our voice outside the county lines. I would just say that personally, in my own humble opinion, we've had a few that's not acted the way that our current leadership should be acting. There's been things that's said and done that doesn't just affect me, but other people that's also in this on the ballot this year. And I was quite disappointed to hear that. And I'm not giving you my thoughts. This is coming from some of the people in the community. Is like, did this really happen? And I've not really said yes or no to a lot of things because I'm not trying to breed that negativity. I'm trying to help make a positive change within our community. Does that make sense to you?
It does, and I think when we've talked before, you rather have people go investigate that on their own.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I'm a very open person. So I've kind of met that adversity kind of like taking a power bar, if so to speak. And it's really charged me up. I've held meetings, get-togethers. We've held all, I've tried to hold as many events as I could. I tried to put another one together this last week. It didn't happen. I had other commitments on my calendar. We put together the petition in short notice. We started that on 11 July into 26 July.
For Senate Bill 190.
Right. That was a great accomplishment. There were several people involved in that. I believe it was the first of its kind in Denton County that's happened that way.
And the only other one I know of that was a petition was for the city to get audited, I believe. And
I'm talking about to put something on a county ballot.
I know, but that was the only other petition I even remember.
Right. So the Denton County they've spoken up. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of made me feel proud that those people did at least get that voice at that time. You know what I'm saying? And I say we because when we put this together, I'm a team member of this community, Stan.
Sure.
I mean, today, tomorrow, forever, yesteryear, back in the days, I've always been a team member of this community. And, one man cannot do any good thing alone. People need to remember that. It's not one guy, it's not one lady. It's someone's idea that gets progressed into a positive for the community.
Absolutely. And it does take the work of many to get things accomplished, as you're seeing and you're experiencing right now. You need help. Everybody needs help. You can't spread the good word on your own. You need to get people out there and support you. And, going back to the parade, you had a large contingent of people that were with you in the parade. And, it's just good to see that, first off, I didn't really know when I saw your name on the ballot. Okay, I said, I didn't know you had aspirations of being a commissioner, number one. And then number two, that you had already kind of put things in motion for yourself ahead of time, which that impressed me because normally when people make that decision, it's kind of like a last minute decision. And then they try and scramble to get things done. And Denver, it appeared that you had already kind of put a lot of thought and effort into getting it established beforehand.
Well, we put a whole lot of prayer and effort, and we talked to a lot of people about what was the most effective way to really talk to the people of Dent County.
Okay.
And the most effective way is to go and be one of the people you're talking to and be approachable. You approach them with common sense. You approach them with respect.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they disagree with you, stand there. You listen to what they have to say. I had several people that absolutely disagree with some of my principles about what I would like to see done.
Sure.
Not because it's bad, because it's different than what we've had in the past.
Sure.
So, because some people doesn't like change. I don't like a whole lot of abrupt change either.
But
sometimes we got to grow sometimes
Sure.
to make sure that our community survives and thrives. We got generations that's coming up after us that's got to have some place to be.
Absolutely. And the thing is, we all can learn from each other. I don't care who you are, you don't have all the knowledge. And somebody, when you're in that moment of saying, I disagree with what your opinion is, but at least give them the opportunity to explain what it is. You just might find out, you know what, I never thought of that. I never looked at it that way.
Absolutely.
And it can open your eyes to a whole new rainbow out there, can't it?
I could give you a call list off of my phone right now of people that I have met, and we decided to sit down and talk things through. We didn't really care for each other. We didn't see eye to eye. But after we're done with it, I can go to those people today, even though we're not closest of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask their opinion, and they're going to tell me their honest truth of what they feel about it. And then I value the people that are adversarial but respectful, that says, hey, no, maybe you want to think of it like this. How does it affect this group of individuals?
And that might be exactly what it takes, because you can't be everywhere. I know for myself, being part of the media, I get to go to a lot of different meetings, and you hear a lot of different things. But how does that affect a specific group of people? How does it affect the people who live here or are on limited income, or maybe a senior citizen that has a fixed income? How do those decisions affect those people? And if you're not in it, sometimes you can't see it.
Well, first of all, no one can ever be like you, Stan. That's impossible. Because I mean, this is a little off the rabbit trail, I guess, but I've seen you work in this community for years, and you're everywhere. I don't know how you've kept up with it this long. So, this whole community owes you a great kudos for that, because you've done an incredible job representing this community at so many levels. Most of the people don't even know the reach that you've went to represent this community.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that compliment.
Well, that come right from right here.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Well, I knew you back when you were with the football team and helping out, and of course that's a long time ago, Denver. But
Yeah.
but the neat thing is I've been exposed to a lot of different people, and just like you're being exposed now by going out and campaigning, you're meeting these different people that can give you these opinions and give you these ideas and give you their thoughts and feel comfortable enough to do that. Some people, they just don't want to let go, do they?
They don't, but you know what? I think over time that people will see that they can do that, and they should do that. This is their community. They have the largest voice of all, as per the people that signed that petition.
Exactly.
I'm not for sure the status of that petition, where it's going to go. I mean, we submitted it to Angie Curley on the 26th with 430 plus signatures. The governing body was not in, so she passed that to them, I think, the morning of the 29th. I think I read in your world today, it said they passed that to their legal counsel, and I'm not for sure what's happening after that. I will tell you that I've had a large amount of people, when they've signed that, says, hey, when this is all done, I want to know if my name was stricken off of that list. Right. So I've asked for a strike list, but I was told I need to ask the governing body for that list. So I'm not for sure the protocol, because I think this is new grounds for everybody.
It is to me, because I've never seen this done, like you said, to try and get something put on the ballot. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. I really don't know the protocol to it.
I don't either. I really don't.
Yeah. So
This is new ground for me.
Well, it's new ground for all of us. But again, to get out there and to get the names on a petition, to have people show their support, or maybe, and I'm sure you have people that show no support for that petition.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I've had a few that come to say, well, if we do this, where's the county going to get their money? We need the money, and you just say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, and you don't argue about it. That's their will. It's their choice whether they want
Sure.
to do this or not, and you just tell them have a blessed day, and you go on.
Right. And very good. But still, the effort was there from a number of people to gather these signatures. It's not easy to go get these signatures. Just like you're sitting outside your door and put out a petition and people come by and sign it.
Right.
You gotta get the shoes on and hit the trail and find a few people out there and have a number of different locations you're addressing.
Right. If we would have started that earlier, if we'd have done that earlier, I would have guessed we probably could have gotten. If we'd had a month, we probably could have got 1,000 names. And I'm not underestimating that. I really believe that was totally accomplishable.
Well, very good. Anyway, a tip of our cap for attempting to do this. We don't know where it's going to stand, and
No idea.
And we will, yeah, we'll find out. I'm sure within the next couple of weeks, because they'll have to make some decision on it after the primary election, because it has to
Right.
be sometime, I think, around September 1st that they have to have all that in and decided on. So,
Well, just remember, Stan, regardless of how we agree or disagree with them, we need to make sure we pray for all of our leadership. Because
absolutely,
they're the community guides. They lead this community whether we agree or disagree, and they need that support. You can always say whether you agree or not, but
Sure.
you still got to support your main government hub. They work hard, and we're not all perfect. I can tell you that right now.
Absolutely. All right. So obviously, Election Day is Tuesday. This is the 6th. I say it's a big day because many of our, I guess, our candidates are running unopposed if they get past this election into the next office. So a lot of the Republicans will be unopposed if they get through this one, going into the November election. Not all, but some. And so this is kind of a big election. This is going to be determining a lot of different positions, isn't it?
It is, and there's no opposing party on the ballot, so
Right.
it's all Republican ballot. So that means people's going to have to ask for that ballot to take place in that vote, because
It is a primary.
it is a primary. So as a reminder, if you want to vote for your commissioner or your assessor or whomever it might be, you're going to have to ask for that Republican ballot to get that vote.
That's right. You have 4 choices, by the way: Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, and nonpartisan. And nonpartisan means you can only vote on the amendments.
Right.
So
And those amendments is another category all by themselves.
and they're ugly.
That's
I'll
a different
tell
show,
you.
I promise you,
Yeah,
Stan.
they are ugly. So, come election night, August the 6th, and whatever happens, let's say you're elected. What are your plans after?
Well, if
Yeah.
God says, Denver, this is what's going to happen with you, because it'll be His will, I promise you. After I'm sworn into my office, the first thing I'd like to see or try to do to the best of my ability is to make sure that the governing body is united. I don't want any division to be there if possible. Whatever's been said or done needs to be healed,
Well,
and we need to move on for the betterment of the county. So it's a united front. So when there's a decision made and everybody's comfortable with that, it can be announced as a unified decision.
Right.
And so I think that's one of the biggest things that I believe
Yeah.
that probably should happen.
friction goes nowhere. It binds against each other.
It
It's not a
just
good thing.
stagnates and causes an infection.
Yeah, very good. And that is a key ingredient, and it is good to have all the commissioners or whatever governing body is to all be on the same page.
Absolutely. Especially in a small community where that's all we have.
Yeah, very good. So if things go the other way and you're not elected, what will the people see out of Denver after that?
Well, Denver will be going back to getting his bondsman license reinstated, because I put those on hold until after
Okay.
the 6th. I'll go back to living my life and doing my things, but I'll have an addition to that. I will be going up there to the commissioner meeting still as much as possible.
Okay.
I'm not going to go up there and cause havoc, and I've not done any of that thus far. And and I had no desire to do that. But I'm not just going to disappear either, Stan. I'm still going to be there. I'm going to assert my First Amendment rights.
Right. You want to be an interested citizen.
I will have a non-voting voice to some impact in the commission meetings, and we'll see what happens in a few years, maybe.
And those commission meetings, by the way, are open to anybody.
Absolutely, and I would encourage everybody to go up there. If you're curious, take a cup of coffee and go up there and just sit in, watch.
Some meetings like this morning, there's not a lot that are going on, especially initially. Now, there were a couple of things that happened after that. We were told that an electrician may come in, and then also the new CEO for the hospital actually showed up a little bit later on. So
that's a good deal.
Yeah, it is a good deal. And it's good that she's getting around and trying to introduce herself to a lot of people. That's very important and critical to our community.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The hospital is, I mean, it's pivotal in this community, and it needs to remain here.
Yeah. So, well, and I'm glad to hear that, because I always appreciate seeing you up there when I'm up there, and we get a chance to talk every now and then. But sometimes I get there at the last second, not a lot of time to talk. But it's always good to have citizens there and hear what the commission says, because and I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, but the commission, when there's no public there. They're just talking to media. They need to know that there is public out there listening. It's kind of like on radio. You look out there, you don't see an audience, but there's people out there.
Right.
The commission, I think, hears the same thing. They don't get to see anybody out there. And, sometimes when you make a decision, the people's body movements and their facial expressions, might tell a different story. And, and sometimes it's good to get that feedback. And I'm not saying that has
right.
or hasn't happened at a meeting. It's just that it really is hard to tell when you make a decision, how is the public going to accept it? And sooner or later you're going to find out. It won't take too long. But it would be nice, sometimes in a discussion to see how those people are reacting.
Right, absolutely, because, I mean, if you got George over here that you've known for 30 years and you see that he's very happy by your choice or not very happy by your choice, it might make you rethink, why is George acting like that?
Yeah.
What's his... So
Right.
I agree. I mean, I'd encourage as many that could attend. I mean, that's not a very large room up there, but I'm sure they can make an accommodation somehow, some way.
Sure. And you were up there when Royal Oak was there, and the conversation between some people get a chance to actually hear that and hear the discussions between those two and the questions that are asked and the comments that are made. I think that's very important. You're not going to get all that out of Salem News. You're not going to get all that out of KSMO and Your World Today, but you get a chance to hear it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just good conversation. But I think it might open their eyes a little bit more to what actually goes on in a meeting, because a lot of people I don't think really know, Denver.
Well, they don't, and I didn't know, and shame on me for not doing it sooner. I'm just saying it straight. It's shame on me, because I should have been more of a part of that a long time ago. But it's been almost close to a year now I've been attending those meetings, and I have been thoroughly educated, and I appreciate that education. I mean, I've really been educated.
Well, we appreciate you doing this. Any last words before we get ready to wrap things up here? We do appreciate you coming in. This is a paid political interview for Denver Ellis, and he is running for the 2nd District Commissioner. Any final words, my friend?
My final words would be make sure you just go voice your vote, because nothing changes if you don't voice your vote. Whomever you might vote for, make sure you tell your family and friends, just make sure you go vote.
We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Again, a paid political ad for Denver Ellis, running for 2nd District Commissioner on a Republican ticket. Again, it is a primary, and if you do want to vote on the Republican side, you have to ask when you go and present your photo ID.
Yeah, make sure it's
make
right
sure you
now.
take one now. You ask for the Republican ticket. That's the only way you can vote for the Republican.
And all the candidates that I know of are on the Republican ticket.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, keep it here, KSMO. We got some music on the way coming your way.